in this video, we are going to discuss about IGBT. IGBT is insulated gate bipolar junction transistor. So generally in BJTs, there is only emitter, base and collector, right? But here you can see that there is a gate. Okay, so it is insulated gate bipolar junction transistor. Now, what is this importance, or why is there is a gate term here? Because we know in BJTs there is only three terminals: emitter, base, collector, right? But now here, if you see insulated gate bipolar junction transistor, there is a gate. Now why we are using the term gate here? Because IGBTs are not just transistors, but they are actually a combination of MOSFET and BJT. Okay, I hope it is clear. This is the most important thing which you should be knowing when you are studying IGBT. So IGBT is a combination. It is actually a very wonderful combination of MOSFET and BJT. This combination is actually taking the advantages from MOSFETs and BJTs. Okay. And these IGBTs are mainly used for power electronics applications, and they are also used for formation or making of inverters, converters, all these circuits. Okay. So if you see the symbol of IGBT, this is the symbol of IGBT. There is an emitter, there is a collector, and there is a gate. There is no base, there is a gate. So this portion, which is called the input side, it is actually the MOSFET side. And this is the output side, which is the BJT side. So this is a combination of what all things? MOSFET and BJT. So the gate is actually the contribution of MOSFET. The output cara will be actually that of a BJT. Now if you see the combination or the detailed internal structure of a IGBT, it will be like this. See here, the gate portion, there is a MOSFET. In the output side, you can see there is a BJT. And it is connected with the help of, that is, these two elements are connected with the help of a drift resistance. Okay. So this is how the internal structure of a IGBT is looking like. Okay. Now let us see what are the main advantages of having IGBTs. So I've listed it out separately for MOSFET case and BJT. So if you take the IGBT, the IGBTs is having high input impedance just like that of a MOSFET, and also they are having high switching speed. And another important thing is they are voltage controlled like MOSFETs. We all know that MOSFETs are voltage controlled devices. BJTs are current controlled devices. Okay, so the IGBT is actually a voltage controlled device just like a MOSFET. So this gate terminal or the gate voltage is actually turning on this IGBT structure. Okay, I hope those things are clear. Now, moving on to the BJT part, the output cara of the IGBT, which will be similar to that of a BJT. Why? Because the output side, it is dominated by the BJT, or it is constituted by the BJT. Okay, so the cara will be like BJT, and also another important thing, they will have low on-stage power loss. Okay, on-stage power loss will be less as that of a BJT. Okay, so these are the main advantages if you go for a IGBT structure. So the IGBTs, if you say as a very brief introduction, they are the combination of MOSFETs and BJTs. The input side is actually like a MOSFET. It is having a gate structure which is insulated gate structure. We'll see the layered architecture and all, but anyway, you should know as an introduction that it is having a input insulated gate, and output side is actually given by, or it is there is a BJT, and output cara will be same as that of a BJT. Okay, and also IGBTs are voltage control devices just like MOSFETs. Okay, so this is the introduction to IGBT. Next, we are going to see about the layered structure of IGBT, and also we'll be seeing the cara of IGBT. Finally, we'll be seeing a comparative study of IGBT, MOSFET and BJT. Okay. We are going to see the layer structure of IGBT, that is insulated gate bipolar junction transistor. So there are actually 4 layers arranged on top of the other. So there is a P plus layer which is at the bottom, and a metal contact is taken from this side, which is the collector. Above that there is a N minus layer, then there is a P layer, and then there is a N plus. Okay, so this is the arrangement of the various layers. The P plus layer is actually called the injection layer. So from this layer actually the carriers are getting injected. Okay, So this side is the collector side, and this layer is called injection layer. N minus layer is called the drift layer. So while studying the power MOSFET and power BJT, we have actually seen the presence of this layer, which is the drift layer. Okay, so this is the most important layer, which is the drift layer, and it is constituted by this N minus layer. It is called the drift layer. Okay, and this drift layer is determining the breakdown voltage and all of this device. Okay, so then there is a P layer, and you can see a MOSFET like structure towards this end. Okay, and clearly you can see that this gate, there is a metal contact taken for gate, and then there is a insulation. So this layer, this is the SiO2. Okay, so there is a insulation between the gate contact and this substrate or this body. Okay, so this gate is clearly insulated. Okay, so that's why the name insulated gate bipolar junction transistor. Okay, and also there are two metal contacts taken from these two ends, and it is taken out as emitter. So these are the three terminals, and these are the portions or positions from where these terminals are taken out. Okay, there is a voltage connected in between the emitter and gate, which is taken as VG. So you can see that the positive side is connected towards the gate, the negative is connected towards the emitter. Okay, next again there is a battery connected in between the emitter and the collector, which is the VCC, and again positive terminal connected to the collector, negative terminal connected to the emitter. Okay, now here consider that we are not applying any VG value. So when a VCC is connected like this, there is a positive connected with this P layer. So P and P is connected together, and emitter is connected with the negative side. So when this connection, that is when we are not applying VG any values, or when VG is equal to 0, there are two junctions here. You can see there is a junction J1, which is formed between this N minus and P plus. Another junction is there, which is formed between P and N minus. So when we are only applying VCC, and when the connection is like this, it is positive is connected to this P and negative is connected to the emitter side, then the J1 junction will be, J1 is forward biased and J2 is reverse biased. Okay, so due to the presence of this reverse biased J2 junction, there will not be any current flow generally happening, but there will be some slight value of current which is constituted by the leakage current, or which is due to the minority carriers. Okay, so when we are applying only VCC, the junction J1 is forward biased and J2 is reverse biased. Okay, so due to the presence of this reverse biased J2 junction, what will happen? There will not be any major current flow happening when VG is equal to 0. Okay, but there will be a very small amount or minute amount of current which is constituted by the leakage current, or which is due to the minority carriers. Okay, so we'll discuss all those things while discussing the CARA. So anyway, just know that when we are only applying VCC, the device is generally not in the conducting state. Okay, but consider that when we are going to apply a VG value which is greater than 0, then there will be a capacitance effect here. Okay, so you can see there is a metal, there is a oxide, then there is a metallic portion. So there is a capacitance effect. So when we are applying a voltage here, what will happen? The negative charge is actually formed in this P plus or P region. Okay, so there will be negative charges formed here due to the capacitance effect, and then there will be a conducting channel actually formed, and the current will flow from the collector towards the emitter side, just like this. Okay, so this is how conduction is actually happening. So clearly you can see that only when we are applying a VG value, only then the device will be in the conducting mode. Otherwise, the device is not in the conducting mode. Okay, so the gate voltage is actually determining whether the device is in on state or in the off state. Okay, so this is why we have said in the beginning or in the introduction that this is a voltage control device, and the gate voltage is actually determining or turning the device on and off. Okay, so this is how the layered structure is, and this is how the conducting path is formed when the gate voltage is applied. Okay, so when the gate voltage is applied, there will be negative charges here there will be a capacitance like effect formed here. So there will be negative charges and then there will be positive charges on the side. And this positive charges will attract the negative minority electrons and all present in this region, and the negative charge will get accumulated here. Okay, so then there is a negative here, there is a n plus here. This path is completely n minus. So there is a conducting path actually formed. Okay, so this is how the conducting path is formed, and then the current will flow from collector to emitter. Okay, so this is actually controlled with the help of a gate. Okay, so this is how the IGBT is actually working. Next we are going to see the Cara of IGBT. Next we are going to see the Cara of IGBT. Okay, so before seeing the Cara, this is the circuit diagram. With the help of this, we are going to actually see the Cara. Okay, so this is the VG voltage that we have applied in between the gate and the emitter terminal. While discussing the layer structure, we have seen that there is a VG voltage applied and also there is a VCC. See, the connection or the polarity of the voltages are also same. Positive connected to collector, negative to emitter. Here also positive is connected to gate, negative to emitter. So there is a voltage drop actually happening in between these two terminals, that is gate and emitter, which is VGE. And also there is a voltage drop happening in between the collector and the emitter terminals. This is the output side. Okay, so that is VCE. So the input voltage is VG and the input current is IG. Output voltage is VC and output current is IC. Now if you draw a Cara between the IC, that is output current, and the input voltage, that is VG, this is the transfer Cara, and this will and the Cara will look like this. Okay, so in the normal transistors also, for the transistor to turn on, you have to have a voltage drop in between the gate and emitter, which will be 0.7 for the case of silicon and 0.3 for the case of germanium, right? This is nothing but the threshold voltage. Okay, here also the voltage in between the gate and the emitter terminal should be greater than the threshold voltage for the device to turn on. Okay, so generally for the case of a silicon based IGBT, the threshold voltage is 1 volt. Okay, so here it is 1 volt. So this is the terminals for silicon based IGBT. So these are the two terminals, which is actually the input side or input terminal, and the voltage drop in between these two terminals should be greater than the threshold for the device to actually start conducting. Okay, so that's why I've marked a point here which is called threshold, and after the threshold the current will go very high. Okay, so this is the transfer Cara. Now if you draw the output Cara, that is in between the output current and output voltage, it will look like this. Okay, so while explaining the layered structure, we have seen that when VG or VNVG is equal to 0, there is only very slight value of current, and it is actually due to the minority carriers, and it is the leakage current. But consider that when we are increasing VG, see here the VG is increasing. When we are increasing VG, what will happen? The current will also increase. But just like for a transistor, after a point, the current will go for a steady value for the voltage. Okay, this portion will be flat. Here the current is steady. Here also the current is initially increasing when we are increasing the VG, and then current will settle down at a particular value. Here also the same. So this portion is called the saturation portion, and this is called the linear region. So this is just like the case of a normal BJT. So that's why while explaining the introduction, I have told you that the Cara, the output Cara of a IGBT is almost or very similar to that of a BJT. In BJT also you can see there is a linear region or a active region, linear or active region. Okay, so this region is called a active region. You can call it as active region. Active region is there, which is linear. There is a linear relationship between IC and VC as the VG is increasing, and then there is a saturation region, and this region is the cutoff region where the current is very less, and the current is actually a leakage current, very minor value of current. Okay, so these are the various regions of operation of IGBT, and this is the Cara looking like. Okay, So that's all about the CARA. Next, we are going to see the comparison between IGBT, MOSFET and BJT. So next we are going to see the comparison between power bipolar junction transistor, that is power BJT, power MOSFET and IGBT. First, characteristics is on voltage rating. So for power BJT, voltage rating is high, power MOSFET it is also high, but for IGBT it is very high. Then current rating for power BJT it is high, you can also see the values. Then for power MOSFET it is low, for IGBT it is again high. Input drive. So we know that BJTs are current control devices. So input drive is current. For MOSFET it is power MOSFET it is voltage, that is VGS, and for IGBT it is also VGE or voltage. So power MOSFET and IGBTs are voltage driven or voltage control devices, whereas BJT is current controlled. Then input impedance is low for power BJT, for MOSFET it is high, IGBT is also high. Output impedance is low for power BJT, for MOSFET it is medium, for IGBT it is low. Switching speed, it is actually maximum for power MOSFET, then for IGBT, then for bipolar junction transistor, that is power BJT. That is power BJTs are the slowest. Cost is actually high for IGBT, medium for power MOSFET, and it is very low for power BJTs. Okay, so these are the various points of comparison between MOSFET, IGBT and BJT. Okay, so in this video we have actually seen the introduction to IGBT, the symbol, the layered structure, and also the CARA. So all the important topics on IGBT we have actually covered in this video. Okay, so I'm really hoping that you found the video useful. I've tried to give maximum explanation as possible, especially for those candidates who are going to write the examination of power electronics. Okay, so if you found the video useful, please to give it a thumbs up, also share it with your friends, and if you want more videos, please to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and keep on watching.